This happened a while ago when I was renting a small house in a quiet town right after I landed my first real big girl job. It was a simple, one-floor house with 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and just enough living space for me. It was perfect, nothing fancy, but it was mine. Sometimes I'd have a few friends over, but for the most part I kept to myself. Everything seemed fine at first. The landlord, Melanie, was friendly, understanding. I got the sense that she preferred renting to women, but that didn't bother me. She seemed nice enough, and the house was cozy. But then, something started happening. It wasn't long before things got weird. A few weeks in, after another normal work day, I got a knock at the door. I went to answer it. "Who's there?" I called out, but no one answered. I didn't open the door. It was late, and no one should be knocking on my door at that hour. I thought maybe it was just a neighbor, but I couldn't shake the weird feeling. The next morning, I went to leave for work. As I opened the front door, there was a big white post-it note stuck to the storm door. It read, "Hello, beautiful." I froze. That had to be from the same person who knocked last night. My heart pounded as I crumpled the note and threw it away. I assumed that would be the end of it, but it wasn't. That night, I was cooking dinner when I heard the same knock at the door. I felt a strange pit in my stomach. I didn't go to the door immediately this time. Instead, I stood still, waiting, listening. There was no peephole, no window to look through. I had no idea who was on the other side, and something told me not to open it. It wasn't until after the knock that I realized what was happening. I had a stalker. I called my parents for advice, but my dad, a retired police officer, said there wasn't much the police could do unless they caught the person in the act. He told me to be cautious, stay inside at night and not to answer the door if it happened again. He even said he'd come to stay with me if it got worse. The next morning, I found another note taped to the storm door. "I like to watch you. I felt nauseous." I took a picture of it and sent it to my parents, and to Melanie too, asking if she had any history with creepy men or stalkers. Her reply was quick, but it didn't comfort me. She was shocked. "No," she said. "I've never had any issues like that before." But something about her response didn't sit right with me. I decided to leave a note on the door myself, hoping it would stop this once and for all. "If you're looking for Melanie, she doesn't live here. She only rents this house out. If you continue to come here, I will be reporting this to the police." I was almost relieved after I left it. I hoped the threat would end it. That night there were no knocks, no more notes. For the first time in days, I was able to sleep. The next morning, I went to remove the note, but when I opened the door, I saw something that made my stomach drop. It wasn't my note. Someone had replaced it with their own. "I'm not looking for Melanie. I'm looking for you." And then, my name, followed by, "I like watching you." I felt the room spin. I sent the photo to my dad immediately. He packed his things and drove up right away. That night, my dad and I waited, hoping to catch whoever was doing this. We spoke to a police officer, but they didn't seem too concerned. My dad, being a retired cop, didn't let that discourage him. He stayed outside on the front stoop all night, waiting, watching. I couldn't sleep, but I had to try. The stalker didn't return that night, and when I was able to, I packed up and moved out. Melanie was understanding, but even she seemed disturbed by what had happened. Whoever was stalking me didn't follow me to my new place, thank God. But the thing is, I never found out who it was. I had suspicions. Could it have been someone from work? Maybe that creepy guy Adam, but I'll never know for sure. All I know is that after that, I never felt truly safe in that house again. And I'll never forget those notes.